Real Madrid's creative genius, Arda Güler, Juventus's number 10, Kenan Yıldız, and Inter Milan's midfield maestro, Hakan Çalhanoğlu. Let's be honest, this generation of Turkish football has something truly special. After 24 long years away from the World Cup stage, Turkey is back. And this squad has the firepower to cause some serious damage. Because here's the thing about this team, you simply cannot predict what they'll do next. And in a major tournament, an unpredictable Turkey is one of the most dangerous weapons in world football. So, if you're ready, let's break down Turkey's 2026 World Cup campaign. 24 years. Think about that. Turkey is returning to the world's biggest stage after nearly a quarter of a century away. The last time we saw them here was 2002 in South Korea and Japan, where they delivered one of the most memorable runs in tournament history, finishing third. And then, silence. No World Cups, no fairy tales, just waiting. But this time, the story is completely different. The 2002 squad was built on experience and battle-hardened grit. This new generation runs on pure talent and the unstoppable fire of youth. And behind it all, there's an architect, Vincenzo Montella. Since taking charge, this team has finally found what it was missing for years, a clear identity and a sense of belonging on the pitch. Just look back at Euro 2024. Turkey knocked out Austria in a defensive masterclass, eliminated Czech Republic, and pushed the Netherlands to the very last minute before bowing out with their heads held high. That tournament changed how the world sees Turkish football. Montella transformed this side from a team that says, "We're just happy to be here," into a team that says, "We can beat anyone." And now, the stage is even bigger. This is the World Cup. Section 3, Squad Strengths. Let's get straight into it. From goalkeeper to striker, and here's the squad Montella will be counting on in 2026. In goal, Uğurcan Çakır leads the way. The Galatasaray number 1, valued at 15 million euros, has shown time and again that he elevates his game in the biggest moments. Pushing him hard are Manchester United's Altay Bayındır and Beşiktaş's young talent Ersin Destanoğlu. And quietly in the background, veteran presence of 37-year-old Mert Günok at Fenerbahçe, a reassuring figure with decades of experience behind him. In defense, Turkey are building a wall. At center back, Ozan Kabak brings Bundesliga experience from Hoffenheim, partnered with the promising Yusuf Akçiçek from Al Hilal. But the heart and soul of this backline is Merih Demiral, a warrior, a leader, a man who simply refuses to be beaten. Supporting them are Ajax's Ahmetcan Kaplan, Galatasaray's Abdülkerim Bardakçı, and Fenerbahçe's experienced duo Çağlar Söyüncü and Samet Akaydın. This is not a defense that gives ground easily. At fullback, the left side belongs to Ferdi Kadıoğlu, 30 million euros, Premier League proven. He is not just a defender, he is a creative outlet, a second playmaker working quietly from deep. Galatasaray's Eren Elmalı provides strong cover. On the right, Roma's Zeki Çelik brings composure and experience, backed by Fenerbahçe's energetic Mert Müldür. In central midfield, everything flows through one man, Hakan Çalhanoğlu. Inter Milan's deep-lying playmaker and Turkey's captain sets the tempo, controls the rhythm, and reads the game like no one else. Alongside him, Fenerbahçe's İsmail Yüksek brings relentless pressing energy. Add Stuttgart's Atakan Karazor, young dynamo Demir Ege Tüknaz, Dortmund's Salih Özkan, and the versatile Kaan Ayhan. And when Beşiktaş's creative force Orkun Kökçü joins the mix, Turkey's midfield becomes one of the most complete units in the entire tournament. In attack, this is where things get truly exciting. At number 10, Real Madrid's left-footed magician Arda Güler, 90 million euros of pure brilliance. Beside him, Frankfurt's rapidly rising star Kaan Uzun, valued at 45 million. On the left wing, Juventus's own number 10, Kenan Yıldız, 75 million euros of pace, creativity, and ice-cold finishing. Then add Galatasaray's razor-sharp Barış Alper Yılmaz, the electric Kerem Aktürkoğlu, and a supporting cast including Aral Şimşir, Oğuz Aydın, Yunus Akgün, Yusuf Sarı, and İrfan Can Kahveci. This attack is completely unpredictable. and completely unstoppable. Up front, the role of the finisher falls to young striker Deniz Gül, who has been proving himself at Porto. Clinical inside the box, composed in front of goal, he will be waiting to convert the chances created by that dazzling attack around him. Section 4. Key players and the X factor. The biggest threat, Arda Güler. Without question, Arda Güler will be one of the most watched players at this entire tournament. When he is on the pitch, Turkey's ceiling rises dramatically. One moment of lost concentration from a defender, and Arda will punish it. A defense-splitting pass, a dribble that leaves 3 players standing, a shot from nowhere. In major tournaments, players like him can carry entire nations on their shoulders all the way to the final. But there is a question that must be asked. What happens when the pressure all lands on Arda? When opponents assign 2 or 3 players to mark him out of the game? How Turkey responds to that problem will define exactly how far they can go. The X factor, İsmail Yüksek. While the spotlight shines on Arda and Kenan, one name is not getting nearly enough attention, and it should be. Fenerbahçe's midfield engine, İsmail Yüksek. While the stars are dancing under the lights, İsmail is doing all the dirty work to make sure the stage doesn't collapse beneath them. He wins duels. He presses relentlessly. He disrupts opponents' rhythm almost single-handedly. In tournament football, these invisible heroes rarely make the headlines, but they are often the difference between a quarter-final exit and going all the way. Section 5. Weaknesses and risks. So far, everything sounds like a dream, but let's be honest, every medal has a flip side. If Turkey are serious about going deep in this tournament, we need to talk about the risks too. Risk 1. Defensive vulnerability on the counter. Meri Demiral and Abdülkerim Bardakçı are experienced, battle-tested defenders. No question. But against high-tempo, directional counterattacks, this backline can leave dangerous space behind the fullbacks. Montella is aware of this. He sometimes shifts to a double pivot to add defensive cover. But that creates its own dilemma. How do you protect the backline without cutting off the supply lines to Arda and Kenan? When Turkey press high and lose the ball, the center-back's recovery speed could be seriously exposed against elite opposition. Risk 2. At the striker problem. This is the most pressing concern. Turkey still do not have a universally agreed-upon, out-and-out number 9. Kerem Aktürkoğlu is a tremendous scorer, but not a traditional box presence. Barış Alper Yılmaz is physically powerful and aggressive, but not a penalty area finisher in the classic sense. And young Deniz Gül, while exciting, is still very raw at this level. None of the 4 forward options truly fits the profile of a cold-blooded penalty box striker. In the group stage, Turkey's overall quality might paper over those cracks. But as the rounds progress and defensive blocks get tighter, we could easily see them create 20 chances and walk away scoreless. So here's the question for the comments. How should Montella solve the striker problem? Stick with Barış Alper's physicality, or hand the shirt to Deniz Gül and take the gamble? Drop your answer below, because this might be the most important tactical decision of Turkey's entire tournament. Section 6. Tournament scenario and final prediction. Now for the big question. What will Turkey actually achieve at this World Cup? Turkey are in Group D, alongside the United States, Australia, and Paraguay. Looking at that group on paper, Turkey and the USA are the clear favorites. Australia and Paraguay will fight hard to advance, but Turkey's technical superiority and squad depth should be more than enough to secure at least second place. The opening match against Australia could actually set the tone for the entire tournament. Getting Arda Güler into his rhythm early, building confidence, finding momentum. Those first 90 minutes are vital. Paraguay will be physical and disciplined, but technically, Turkey have a clear edge. The real test of the group will be the USA match. Playing on home soil, with massive crowd support and a high-pressing, athletic style of play, America will push Turkey hard. But if Turkey can stay calm under that pressure and take their chances, they will top the group. Round of 32 and beyond, is a quarter-final possible? My view is clear. A quarter-final run is absolutely realistic for this Turkey side. But 2 conditions must be met. First, Arda Güler must stay fit and maintain his peak form throughout the tournament. Second, Montella must find a solution to stabilize the defense, particularly against teams with quick, direct, wide players. If those two things click into place, Turkey will be in the quarterfinals, and there they might face France or Germany or Brazil. That is where the surprise package story ends and the war of giants begins. Now I want to hear from you. Can this generation go beyond the quarterfinal and actually lift the trophy, or is simply getting out of the group already a success? What is your tournament prediction for Turkey? Leave your answer in the comments right now. And if you want to follow the analysis, tactical breakdowns, and full tournament coverage all the way through the 2026 World Cup, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. See you in the next one.